Okay there everybody, and welcome to another TIETS Informational. Today we are going to be talking about Gray Fox Games' Conquest of Speros, which was a Kickstarter a while back that's now been delivered. It is coming out soon from our good friends at Cool Stuff Inc. And it is actually a really pretty kind of cool card game. It's an area control, sort of resource management domination game. It's got a little bit of take that in it as well. And basically, you're going to be one of four races. You got the elves, you got your little merfolks, you got your dwarves, and you got these other guys, which are the I'm trying to remember their name. They are the undead. So you have the undead, the merfolk, the dwarves, and the elves. Familiar kind of themes where your black is kind of your swampy evil. You got your foothills for your dwarves. You got the oceans for your merfolk, and the elves. Basically, in the game, what you're going to be doing is you're going to have all these little minions. So you're going to have your minions, and you're going to have a general. And there's going to be cards in the battlefield. You're going to have like forests. There's going to be, I'm just looking at all forests here. Every card I pulled was a forest. What are you going to say? Swamps. You got mountains. You got your oceans. And these cards are going to be laid out on here, in the battlefield. And you're basically going to be fighting for these cards. By placing minions on them and trying to get a majority on these cards and collecting them into your area. And as you collect them, you're going to gain points. In addition to that, you're going to have ancient artifacts, which do a little bit different thing. You're going to go and you're going to excavate and get special abilities when you excavate those artifacts and try to collect those. These are randomized in each game, so you always get different things like a Trident of Destiny, Berserker's Battle Axe, all these kind of cool little artifacts that you're going to try to gain. And based on how many players is how many artifacts are out. And in addition to that, you got bonus objectives. And these bonus objectives are going to be different. You get dealt 3 of them at the beginning of the game. They're kept secret from everybody else. And basically what you do is you during the game, you're going to try to achieve these, but you only score 1 of the 3 bonus cards that you get. And the final thing, you're going to have master objectives, which are basically objectives that everyone participates in, and they get laid out. It's 1 less of the amount of players. They get laid out, and you're basically going to try to achieve those. There are some resource management, so there's gold on these cards. There's some crystals, and there's some, I think it's coal. And basically what you're trying to do is if you collect sets of those, you get points. And as you're placing your minions, so you place your minions. So this is me, and I'm going to place my minion. I go on here. I put my little guy on here. If I put my leader on this one, I can add an extra one. So you have these different actions. So that's kind of basically the setup and what you're trying to do. Now, one of the things you're going to do is in your hand, you're going to have 7 cards. You start with 8, but everybody puts something in the battlefield. And on your card, different than most games, you discard at the beginning. So when you discard your card, it gives you a certain ability. The abilities can be anything. It can be obliterating, you can be removing opponent, you can be getting your general back into your stock. They can help you draw cards. So these abilities give you things when you discard them. Some of them you can pull discards back. So there's a lot of different kind of abilities, and it's kind of Magic-esque where they have different abilities that you play. Same sort of thing. Once you kind of learn what rapid incursion is, you know what that is. Once you learn what obliterate is, you know what that is. So you have these different abilities. So you're going to discard a card. You're going to get that ability right then. So once you do the discard step and the ability step, then you take your action step. And one you can explore. Exploring is basically you can take a card. You can put it out here. If you are that race, so let's say I'm the dwarf and I put that out. The mountain, I cannot automatically put a guy in. But if I'm the dwarf and I put a forest out, I can automatically start to take the majority because I'm exploring that area. And then there's also cards that will allow you to put one out there. So that's kind of the explore. Then there's the attack mode, which is basically, if you got some guys on here and you're trying to get in on this, you place your minion out there and you're trying to kind of attack these guys to get control of that card. There's the lead action, whereas what you do is you would take your general out there, you take him out, put him there, and if you want, take one of your minions. And look, with that, you could already get majority, and then this card goes back into your captured card area where you score points. So at the end of the game, once you score points for various different things, you score points for how many VPs are on the bottom of the card. So your captured cards are worth 1. Any artifacts you have points. Then you get 1 point for every card that your minion's on, every spot your minion's on, whether it's captured or in the main play area, you get 2 points if your minion is on one of your own land types. And then vice versa for your general, you would get 3 on your own land type and 2 on another land type. Then you would score your 1 bonus objective. Whoever achieved the mastery objective would get it. If it's a tie, it gets split up, rounded down. And then you score your resources. So for every set of resources you have, you score those points. Whoever has the most points wins. So all in all, Conquest of Speros is a fun game. It's kind of interesting. It has a lot going on for a little game, and I like placing the little minions and the generals and stuff. I will say I do think that some of the bonus objectives, if you happen to get a certain scenario, are stronger than others and can give you more points. Like for example, if you were the merfolk and you get more points for being on oceans anyway, and then you get the one card that says, hey, you get 3 points or whatever it is for every ocean that you have a minion on, that could be pretty lopsided in your favor. But then again, as you play the game more, if someone knows you're going for that, they can try to stop you. So there is some luck factor there, but for the most part, it is kind of a fun little game. It reminds me kind of like a different sort of feel to a Magic the Gathering type of game. But you can play, it is really good with 2. I think it's best with 3 players. It's really fun with 4 players. I think the more players you have, this game is better. If you play with one-on-one, it's kind of just back and forth. You don't really get into the game. It is also a quick game, so if you're thinking long, drawn-out strategy here, you're probably not going to get to do it. So you're going to have to kind of go for what you want to go for, see what your opponent's going for, and try to stop them and keep yourself going. So basically also there's a Lost Treasure expansion, which it's kind of cool because I forgot to mention that each general has 2 different abilities. You can use it once per game and then you flip it over, one of the 2 abilities. Lost Treasure gives you different generals for the different land types, so you get like a different merfolk general that have different abilities, so it can add some mix to the game. It also has some new abilities, action abilities that happen when you discard your cards. There's the Treasure Hunt, and I believe the other one is Reassignment, and those are different elements to the game. And what you would do is you would take 2 out of the game and put 2 in, so it's kind of customizable that way, where you can say, I don't really like the obliterate feature because it makes the game go too fast. I don't like taking people out. I don't want that take that. I'm gonna put the treasures in there instead. So that just gives you a little bit of ability. So this is an expansion that you could have got with a Kickstarter, and hopefully it'll be available for people who want this game. All right, so hey, fun little game, Conquest of Speros, going to be on Cool Stuff Inc. Get it? I think it's going to go pretty fast. It's a fun game. Take care. See ya.